Hey guys, what is up? RedPandaMining here. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing really well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to talk about Monero, and they have an update on their tentative release schedule here for Monero 0.15. Okay, so this involves RandomX and when they will do the upgrade. So looking at this thing here, this announcement was on Monero, r/Monero on the Monero subreddit, and we can see here that they released this information yesterday, and it looks like this infographic here shows that the network upgrade will happen on November 30th. So that will include the RandomX algorithm. Now, mentioned before, there was supposed to be the RandomX implementation on October, which was next month, but now they're pushing it back another month. And the reason for that was, I'm just going to read it here. They said, a few bugs were found during the testing period of RandomX on HYC's public testnet. While these bugs were squashed relatively swiftly, it was deemed prudent to push back the date of the scheduled protocol upgrade a bit in order to allow for more extensive testing, as well as ensure users and services that a decent amount of time, approximately a month, to upgrade to version 0.15. Then they said here, Tevador, who I believe wrote the RandomX miner, and that kind of stuff, he says the tentative fork height of 1,978,433. So this will be on November 30th, okay? And some other infos here. They said September 22nd today, they just released this info, and October 24th, a code freeze, October 31st, 0.15 release. Okay, so I'm assuming that's when everyone has to upgrade their wallets and mining pools have to upgrade and stuff, and then November 30th will be the upgrade. So that'll be pretty fun. That'll be pretty cool. I am excited. I'm sure a lot of you guys that have the CPUs now ready for RandomX are also excited. I just want to talk about one more thing on how they or why they found this these bugs. So they said here, actually, there were not bugs in RandomX. The testing was hindered by unrelated breaking changes in Monero code. Okay, so it wasn't actually bugs. It was actually some unrelated changes to the Monero code. So I think that's why they're pushing it back another month for the RandomX algorithm implementation. So yeah, so November 30th. So as of making this video, it should be about, 2 months from now. 2 months and a week, I guess. Anyways, guys, now for the rest of the video, I want to talk about Monero in terms of their hash rate, okay? So, in previous history, Monero has had a lot of forks, okay? So I think every 6 to 8 months, they've had a hard fork in terms of their algorithm change. So they've started off, I believe, with Kryptonite v7. I believe they did have a different algorithm before that, but I forgot its name. It's not on the top of my head right now. But, they had Kryptonite v7 as of recently, I think in 2018. And then they moved to Kryptonite v8. And then they moved to Monero Kryptonite R. Okay, so they've had a bunch of changes in algorithms in the past 2 years. And now, currently it is Kryptonite R. And as we can see here on the Monero hash rate historical chart here, you can see that the hash rate hasn't really gone up in the past, let's see, as of April of 2019. That's when Monero R happened. You can see that the hash rate really hasn't gone up. So for Monero to implement RandomX, it is a preventative measure that they are implementing to just, preventative measure to not have ASICs on the network, right? As well as, I guess, for this RandomX implementation, they're trying to just make it harder for botnets, malware, that kind of stuff to get on their network. And you guys have heard recently of Monero malware on a bunch of PCs in Brazil, or I think recently found in Peru even, and that kind of stuff. So RandomX is supposed to mitigate that kind of thing because RandomX utilizes memory on the motherboard. So I think the minimum requirement is 2 gigabytes of memory on the motherboard and higher. So if there was a malware or botnet, whatever, utilizing that, servers and clients and people's regular computer, they would notice that extra, hopefully notice that extra 2 gigabytes or more of memory being used up for crypto mining. So we'll see come November 30th. After that, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen to the hash rate. Obviously, right now I don't think we see much ASICs on the network because there really hasn't been any announcement of ASICs or any information about that. We can see here that the network hash rate really hasn't gone up since April. So I guess I don't know. It's interesting to think, and I want to talk about the CPU benchmarks. Okay, so with RandomX, you all know RandomX is going to be CPU intensive, not GPU centric. Okay, so they're forking away GPUs, and with RandomX, the RandomX GPU benchmarks right now are pretty bad in my opinion. You guys can see here the Vega 64s, which are pretty much the staple video card for Monero right now on Monero R algorithm. You guys can see it gets about 1,052 hashes per second on a Vega 64 at 240 watts. So pretty much the hash rate has been cut in half compared to Monero R on RandomX. Okay. Now, if we look on RandomX for CPUs, example, a Ryzen 9 3900X CPU, which is about a 700 or 800 USD CPU on Amazon you can buy. You can see right now people are getting 13,000 hashes at 165 watts on a 3900X. That's 13 times more than a Vega 64, okay? And a lot more efficient, by the way. So wow, just take a look at that. RandomX, it's going to be all CPU based. So when I see these kind of hashes on these CPUs, my guess with the hash rate for Monero, I just have this gut feeling that the network hash rate is possibly going to be higher. Because look at the efficiency that you can get on CPUs. But another thing that I'm curious about is because with the current hash rate of Monero right now, I wonder how many Vega 64s or Vega 56s are on the network right now mining Monero, right? Like how many of those guys are going to turn off their Vegas for CPUs? And I wonder now how many CPUs are going to be coming on the network, because you guys can see here on RandomX CPU benchmarks, not only the Ryzen CPUs are pretty good, but the older AMD Opteron CPUs are good for Monero. The Threadripper CPUs are good on RandomX. Ryzen 7s, the 2700s. Let's see, Intel Xeons are even okay too, somewhat. And let's keep going down the list here. Ryzen 5 3600 CPU gets about 6,300, 6,000 hashes per second at some insane 65 watts, 88 watts. That's amazing. Crazy efficiency for RandomX. So I wonder if, there's a bunch of CPU farms out there just buying up the Ryzen 5 3600s or even the Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 3900 CPUs for mining Monero, like upcoming for November 30th. I'm super curious, but I've talked about before, I'm also hesitant to get into Monero mining just for RandomX, just for Monero, because if this doesn't work out in the next 6 to 8 months, because as we know, Monero has hard forked every 6 to 8 months. So what's stopping Monero from hard forking to a ASIC or FPGA centric algorithm, which I believe I have read somewhere that developers have talked about. So obviously not tentative, but something to think about in the future. And you know, I'm excited for this information and hard forking and hash rate and all that stuff, but I'm not excited. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon to get into mining Monero. I do have a Ryzen 7 2700, so I will mine with that. I will do some testing with that, but you're not gonna see me go out and buy like a Ryzen 9 3900X right now for Monero. Okay, so there's a lot of things to think about. I don't want to drop this kind of money down on just for Monero. Who knows what's gonna happen to the price, all that kind of stuff. They are kicking off a lot of GPUs, so I know that has a lot of people angry. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, I would like to know what you think, and smash the like button, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.